Alright guys, I'm going to do a video today. Basically, it's a Britain versus America video. I watch quite a lot of these kind of videos. I find them interesting. Either Brits living in America or Americans living in Britain, and they compare Britain to America. I recently spent 3 months out in America with my partner's family, my in-laws. I spent most of it in Texas, but I also went to New Mexico and Colorado. So I'm going to do my Britain versus America video. First things first, I'll start off by saying I think America's better than Britain. America is, from my perspective, a better place to live than Britain. And that's all I can do, is from my perspective. That's the thing, it's like with all these videos of like, oh, this versus this versus that. It's perspective, isn't it? Different people have different experiences. But for me, America is far superior to Britain. So why? Who am I? Well, first of all, it's where are you in the class structure? Like, I know where I am in the class structure. I started at the very bottom. I was born in Burton-on-Trent, which is a shithole. In Uxbridge area, which is the biggest shithole of a shithole, to a single mother in a grotty terrace house. The people I interacted with growing up, if they had a job, they packed boxes. That was it. That was my initial view of the world. When I was 15, I went on holiday with a friend to Cornwall. When I was 19, I moved to Cornwall with 50 quid. I was like, I'm not living in this crap hole, I'm living in Cornwall. I hate cities, even though when I was a kid, I used to move around between, catch a train to Derby, go and BMX skate in Derby Storm, spend a lot of time in Nottingham, Birmingham, catch a train to London and stuff, but never really enjoyed it. Particularly, I always much preferred the time I spent in the Lake District walking around. I like the countryside. So obviously that affects things. You know, if I was somebody who loved cities, I'd have a completely different perspective perhaps. I hate cities. I've moved to Cornwall when I was 19. I very rarely leave Cornwall. Every time I go out of Cornwall into the rest of the UK, I just think it's a crap hole. Like, it's as soon as you cross the Tamar and you're in Plymouth, Plymouth's a crap hole, and then everywhere up is a crap hole. Apart from the Lake District, the Peak District, parts of Yorkshire, but if you're in Yorkshire, even if you're in a nice bit, you're still close to Grimsby and Bradford, so it's still a crap hole. I like, you know, in Yorkshire, York's nice itself. What's it called? Scarborough. Scarborough's very nice, but it's got problems. You can see it's running down. And I liked Whitby, but these places are really expensive, you know. Those places are nearly as expensive as it is to live in Cornwall. Maybe not now. I mean, it depends where. Like, if you could probably buy a house in the middle of Cornwall for the price of like a house in Scarborough, but yeah, there's no cheap places in Cornwall really. But Cornwall's beautiful. So that's the angle I'm coming at. Anywhere I go to, I'm comparing it to Cornwall. So I've got a very high bar of what a place should be like. Cornwall's beautiful. And anywhere worse than Cornwall is worse than Cornwall. So if someone has to be better. That's my perspective anyway. Now, where am I in the class structure now? Well, I'm a tradesman. I've clawed my way up to the upper working class stage. You know, I have multiple trades. I'm a carpenter, I can do drywall, I can do groundworks, I can tile, I can get a job anywhere, anytime, no problem. I can just pick up the phone and find a job for the next day that's well paid, immediately, anywhere in the world. Not everyone is in that position. America, if you have a trade or a STEM degree, is a fantastic place. If you don't have a trade or a STEM degree, it looks awful, to be honest. But I do have a trade. that's why I think so. That's the one reason. A carpenter in England, basically, it's about £25 an hour. So you make 30 to 40k a year, depending on how much work you manage to get and the hours you put in. In America, I was applying. I found a load of jobs out of interest in different areas, and they were starting at 80k for people with 1 year's experience, just to do basic drywall. Experienced carpenters like me, it's literally 120 to 150k. I've seen jobs for. There's loads of them. There's tons of them. Everywhere I went, there was just people going, "Oh, you're a carpenter? I want to give you work." I'm like, "I'm on holiday, mate. I can't do any work. I can't legally work here. I'm on holiday." And they're just people throwing jobs at me. So, you know, I mean, that's. But if you're not a tradesman, you might have a different experience. But if you are a tradesman, America's just unbelievable compared to the UK, because that's the problem of the UK is wages. That is the main, first and foremost problem of the UK is wages. You just can't. There's a cap to what you can make, and it's very hard to, if you're coming from zero flat with no intergenerational assistance or money. It's very difficult because a trade will get you double. A trade or a STEM degree in England is going to get you double minimum wage. It's going to get you like 24, 25 pound an hour. If you're making 35 pound an hour, then you are, to make 35 pound an hour, you're the best of the best at a niche, and it's rare. It's hard to break past the 25 pound. Whereas in America, there isn't these caps as such. Like, people are paid what they're worth. Like in England, it doesn't matter how good you are as a carpenter. The going rate for a carpenter is 25 quid, and you're going to get 25 quid. It can be very frustrating. Like, you know, sometimes you're on site and there'll be like 2 people better than you and 20 people worse than you, and you're all on the same money. You're all making the same money. Whereas in America, they pay you what you're worth. If you do good work and move quick, they'll pay you more and more and more and more. So that's the first and foremost reason why I think America's better than the UK is the money. There are things that are worse. First, like food. The food, it's so expensive. Just basics, like a loaf, you know, bread in UK. Nice 6 rolls of bread from Morrison's, £1. 6 big fat fluffy babs. That in America will cost you like $5, and the quality is not a patch on. Right? You're paying more money for worse food all the time. So that is a worse side. But like I say, you're earning so much more, and if you just eat single ingredient food, like if you're just buying meat, vegetables, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Eating out is way cheaper. Way cheaper. So that is a downside. Environment. I mean, for me, I judge a place heavily on architecture. I really do. Like, if I don't like the architecture, I don't like the place. Like, I'm very influenced by aesthetics. If I'm in a place and all the houses are ugly, then I just don't like that place. It doesn't matter what else is going on around it. It's ugly. I don't want to know. Now, what I find is a lot of America is really, really, really ugly. Like, you know, like the bits of Britain that got bombed out, and then they rebuilt them in the 60s and 70s with disgusting concrete crap. That's what most of America looks like. It's just concrete crap. Ugly, brutalist, concrete, flat-roofed crap. It's horrible. They do have nice buildings, but I'll probably get to it in a little while. But like, I mean, I spent most of the time in Texas. In Texas, it's just all ugly. All the buildings are ugly. They're all ugly everywhere. Out in the countryside, you'll see a few nice ones, like old colonial Gothic, like carpenter Gothic houses. There's still a few about. But any of the urban places in Texas, they're all gone, and they've all just replaced by ugly crap, and they've got neon signs everywhere. It's just ugly. Texas is a really ugly place. Apart from the hill country, that's where they all go on holiday and stuff. It's the hill country. Still pretty flat, by European standards, but it is hilly, and the hill country is beautiful. There's wildflowers everywhere. It's really weird seeing wildflowers and pine trees next to cactuses, but yeah, I liked the hill country. I went out to a place called Crockett around there. That reminded me of Staffordshire. It's pasture land and oaks. That was very nice. But overall, no. Like Houston, horrible place. Austin, horrible place. Fort Worth, ugliest place I've seen in my life. Amarillo, just gross. But I preferred it to New Mexico. Drove through New Mexico, like, if you can fly over it, fly over it. It's just horrid. It's just a big, dusty desert. It's just a desert with a few random settlements in it, and the random settlements are ugly as hell as well. They build these ugly brown buildings. They're nasty. The point is to get to Colorado. Out of the 3 states I've seen, it's just all about Colorado. Colorado is heaven. It is beautiful. I haven't been to Denver or any of the big cities, but like I said, I don't really care. Like I don't judge a place on its cities because I've no interest in entering them. As far as I'm concerned, I have no interest in cities. There's only 2 types of city people: stuck-up arseholes and violent degenerates. And you know which one you're talking to by the way they look and talk. I just don't care for cities or city people. So this is really affecting my opinions, obviously. But Colorado, just amazing. It's the most... I can't even describe it. There's no words for how beautiful it is. Just the forests, the mountains, the snow, and the people. It's just such a cool vibe. Like everyone's, weed's legal there. Everyone's smoking. Everyone's cool. Everyone's snowboarding and skiing, and it's just all outdoorsy and rugged, and the architecture's beautiful. There's like so many Victorian Gothic buildings there. Lots of sort of like Swedish style log cabin things, snow just dripping off them. It's amazing. Absolutely love Colorado. And it's not that expensive. Like there's building plots there for like 40 grand, 40,000. And then, I'm talking about, we spent time around Durango. So you got Silverton, Ouray, Pagosa Springs, these sort of surround Durango, and you got the $1 Million Highway, and that area is just amazing. I found so many jobs for carpenters there because they're just throwing up log cabins everywhere. People are just self-building. There's these plots for sort of 20 to 40,000, and they're just pre-approved to build what you like on. It's licensed to print money, and it's petrol. They basically pay per gallon what we pay for a litre. It's so easy to get around there. They don't really have public transport, but I don't give a damn about public transport. You could make petrol £5 a litre and buses free. I would still drive everywhere. I'm not getting on a bus with a load of other people to go miles out of my way. I'm never going to do it. I have no interest in public transport. I don't care. I'm a car guy. So America is a car-centric society. I love that. Just love it. Get in your car, drive, park there, drive, park. Brilliant. Effortless. Yeah, I love it. It's just better. It's better in every way. If you're like a blue collar, working class, red blooded guy that wants to do outdoor shit, shoot guns, do what you want on your own property, say what you like, do what you like, be left the fuck alone, it's the place. If you're like an urbanite, probably not. I think cities are worse than here. They are worse than here from what I can see, from my own through. It's just gross. But I'm not thinking about the cities, so there you go. Everything that I judge a place by, America's better. It's better for cars. It's better for building on your own, buying land and building on it. It's better for earning. It's better for being able to do what the fuck you want. America wins for me.